Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to my Q&A video for March 2013. And I got a lot of good questions that you all sent it in. Thank you all for sending them in. Some really good questions. And let's get started. The first question comes from Brian Newman. He asks, do you own any of the classic Nick cartoons on DVD that were made from the Shout Factory? I do have like three Nicktoons that I own that Shout Factory released, and that's Rocko's Modern Life, The Wild Thornberries, and Our Real Monsters. And so I haven't got any of the other seasons of those shows, but I will get them sometime eventually, probably in the future. I hope Shout Factory can release more of old Nickelodeon stuff from Nickelodeon's library. Hope that happens. We'll get to see other classic shows like Kenan and Kel, The Journey of Alan Strange, all that. Maybe. So that question came from Brian Newman. The next questions come from the Mastermind. And his first question is, are you a big gamer? I'm not the biggest gamer anymore. I used to be a big gamer when I was a kid, but like nowadays not that much. Like I play kind of sports games, like NBA 2K13, WWE 13, like that. So not a big gamer like I was when I was a kid. His next question is, do you like The Hobbit? Are you planning on getting it? No, fuck The Hobbit. I don't care for that movie. I don't care for Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I don't care for The Hobbit. But in my opinion, though, but if you like those movies, that's fine. I'm not gonna bash you for it, cause it's our own opinions or your own opinions. His next question is, why don't you like personal questions? Well, I don't like people asking, where do you live? What's your mother's name? What's your father's name? And all like that. But cause it's my business. It's none of their business to be asking those questions. Next question is, what's your favorite horror film? Favorite horror film is the original Alfred Hitchcock Psycho. Star Wars or Star Trek? Star Wars. Never watched Star Trek. Never watched the shows or the movies. I don't care for them. But you gotta go with Star Wars. Who will win in a fight, Batman or Judge Dredd? Definitely Batman. So those are all his questions that he asks the Mastermind. The next question comes from Matthew Ian Potes. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. His question is, what are your thoughts on the Harlem Shake? I think they're funny videos. They're way much better than the Gundam style dance. I fucking hate that song. Like every time it came on the radio, I just wanted to bash the radio in, because it was playing way too much. And what a stupid dance, the Gundam style. What a stupid dance that was. Now people are gonna look back at that in the future and be like, "Oh, what the fuck we were doing that dance for? Looks retarded." But I called the Gundam style the Macarena of 2012. From last year. But that question, my thoughts on the Harlem Shake, they're hilarious. Hilarious videos. Like I said, way better than Gundam style. So that was his question. Next questions come from Donovan Barry. First question is, were you a fan of the Buzz Lightyear or Star Command animated series? Uh, I did see some of it when I was a kid, and I didn't like it. Uh, I thought it was just going to be what would have made the show much better is if they did it as the Toy Story style, like Toy Story CGI like that. But like in the intro to it, it showed like the computer graphics of like the Toy Story films, and then it would just be after the intro it would just go to hand drawn animation, and it would have been better if they followed in the computer graphics of the Toy Story films. Would have been a hell of a lot better. Second question is, what were your thoughts on the Mask animated series? That was a stupid idea to turn a Jim Carrey movie into an animated series. And they did three of Jim Carrey's movies into a cartoon. The Mask, Ace Ventura Pet Detective, which sucked, the animated series, and Dumb and Dumber, which I haven't seen. But I only have one episode on VHS of the Mask animated series. His third question is, what were your thoughts on the teen sitcom Hang Time? I thought it was a good show. I used to watch it when I was a kid, and I mainly started watching the series when it was in the later seasons when Dick Butkus was the basketball coach, and just thought it was a really funny show and it's a very underrated show. But I liked Hang Time. Fourth question is, were you a fan of Batman Beyond? Was never really a fan of the Batman, animated stuff. Fifth question is, what are your two-time favorite music videos? Mainly two are Michael Jackson videos. One is Thriller, the classic Thriller music video, and Black or White. Those two music videos were directed by John Landis. So I love those two music videos. Sixth question is, what is your favorite movie soundtrack? It's gotta be Back to the Future. Just love the score to that movie. Sorry about that. Always opening and closing the door. But yeah. So his seventh question is, do you remember Bear in the Big Blue House? I do remember Bear in the Big Blue House. I used to watch it when I was a kid. Have two episodes on VHS that I have of the episodes. So yeah, I like Bear in the Big Blue House. Eighth question is, do you remember The Weekenders? I do remember it, but I never watched it. I only remember like the promos for it. And his final question is, what are your favorite theme songs? Favorite theme songs are, Married with Children's, Love and Marriage, sung by the late great Frank Sinatra. Do like the Saved by the Bell theme song, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. What else? Boy Meets World theme song from the fifth season to the last season. So those are some of my favorite theme songs, and those questions came from Donovan Barry. The next question comes from John Soto, and his question is, what is your favorite fantasy film franchise within the last 10 years? Example, Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, Twilight, Harry Potter. Well, it's not any of those franchises. Lord of the Rings I don't care for. Hobbit I don't care for. Twilight franchise sucks. And Harry Potter I don't care for. The only Harry Potter movie that I saw was Chamber of Secrets, and I'll admit I liked it, but thinking about it, nah, just not a fan of the Harry Potter films. Don't care for them. So that question came from John Soto, and don't have a favorite fantasy film I could think of within the last 10 years. So that was his question. John Soto. And next questions come from the Office Fan 234, aka Jason Smith. And his questions are: what movies do you think are really underrated? A lot of movies that are really underrated, like Battle Los Angeles, Sucker Punch, the movie Jack with Robin Williams, The Majestic with Jim Carrey, Truman Show, also another Jim Carrey movie. I think a lot of other films I can name. But if you could live one place in the world, where would you live? One place. I would like to live in California. I would like to stay in the U.S. Not go outside of the U.S. Next question is: what are your favorite Jim Carrey movies? My all-time favorite Jim Carrey movie is Liar Liar, and Dumb and Dumber, The Mask, The Truman Show, Man on the Moon, and The Majestic. Anything before Yes Man, any Jim Carrey movie before Yes Man, I like. And his final question is: what horror movies do you like? Haven't heard you talk about it much. Well, the horror genre is not my favorite film genre. I like like comedy, action films, a little bit of drama. Like some fantasy films. But the horror movies that I like I said the Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, Child's Play. It's kind of a cheat, but it's, because it's a horror comedy. Gremlins. There's a lot of other horror films that The Faculty, which is a late '90s horror film, which is underrated, which is directed by Robert Rodriguez. Scream films. So those are to name a few. So those questions came from the Office Fan 234, aka Jason Smith. Next questions come from Will Farrell number 1. First question is: do you like Bob Saget, and have you ever seen his stand-up? I like Bob Saget. I've been a fan of his since Full House, and when he was the original host of America's Funniest Home Videos. And I did see his stand-up. I think it's really funny. And they also did the roast of Bob Saget for Comedy Central a couple years back, and that was hilarious also. Yeah, I do enjoy Bob Saget's stand-up. Second question is: did you like Dick Dornberg in Die Hard 1 and 2? The jerk news reporter. I think it did pretty good, though he got on your nerves. And his final question is: were you ever a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I wasn't the hugest fan of the Ninja Turtles, but I watched a couple of episodes of the original animated series, and I liked it a lot. Sorry about that again. But yeah, I did like the original Ninja Turtles cartoon, their classic. Also like the first two movies, the first two live action films, and haven't seen the 2003 cartoon. Never watched it, or the new cartoon, which the animation looks like shit. But yeah, so those questions came from Will Farrell, number one. Next questions come from Sam Ratner. His question is, what is your favorite Rugrats episode? I got a lot of favorite episodes of the Rugrats, but the one that I really like is the one where Grandpa Lou wins the baseball tickets and he takes Tommy and Stu to the baseball game, and Tommy's chasing after the bear balloon. Yeah, so that's my favorite Rugrats episode. What is your favorite Backstreet Boys song? My favorite Backstreet Boys song, yes, I did listen to them when I was a kid, but because my cousin is and still is a fan of the Backstreet Boys, so she used to play the music from time to time. I was my cousin was a fan of still is a fan of the Backstreet Boys, and remember listening to their music. And my favorite song from them are "Quit Playing Games with My Heart," because that was the first Backstreet Boys song that I ever listened to from them. And his final question is, who's your favorite Toy Story character? I have two. It's Woody and Buzz. So those are my two favorite Toy Story characters. And those questions came from Sam Ratner. Next questions come from Nicholas Holloway. His questions are, what's your favorite food? Favorite foods, hamburger and fries. What type of beverage you drink? Soda. Coca-Cola. What's your favorite cartoons? My favorite cartoons, number one is Rugrats, then Doug, Angry Beavers, Rocko's Modern Life, the Nicktoons. The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and the Jetsons. Do you like fighting games? Yes, I do. I like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. Play them all the time. CD or iPod? Gotta go with iPod. So those questions came from Nicholas Holloway. Next questions come from Alan Hejaji. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. If not, I'm sorry. But his first question is, do you have any bootleg VHS tapes? I do, because years ago, like when a new movie came out in the theater, people always make bootlegs of them, and they still do it now with DVD-Rs. But I do own two, and one is Jingle All the Way, and Thomas and the Magic Railroad. Speaking of Thomas and the Magic Railroad, his second question is, what are your opinions on Thomas and the Magic Railroad? I haven't seen that movie in 13 years. But yeah, because the last time I saw it, I was a kid, and I really liked it when I was a kid. But if I rewatched it now, I probably wouldn't like it as much as I did when I was a kid, because it's very kiddish. But his third question is, have you seen the Rugrats 10th anniversary special from 2001? You mean do you mean by the all growed up special? And if it is, yes, I did see it, and I did like them. I did like the all grown up special. The series that they did later on, wasn't a fan of it. His fourth question is, what is your favorite female singer from the 1990s? Alanis Morissette. I like her music. Uh, many of uh, many of her songs came out in the 90s. This last question is, what is your favorite Rugrats character? My favorite Rugrats character is always going to be Tommy, because he was the bravest baby and never backed down from anything. Uh, so those questions came from Alan Hijazi. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. Next question comes from Metal Fan 230. His question is, what shows as a kid represents everything about you? By the way, love the vids, man. Keep it up and please subscribe to my channel and spread the word. Thank you. Thanks, man. Shows that represented everything about me. One was the Wonder Years, because it taught me, all about life. And, with Kevin Arnold, Fred Savage's character in that show going to junior high, starting junior high and then going to high school, showed me like what goes on in during junior high and high school years and what to expect. And Boy Meets World also represents everything about me. When I used to watch it when I was, when I always watch it, it still teaches me everything. But yeah, so those two shows represented everything about me. Next question comes from Man United 15. What is your favorite year of wrestling since you started watching? My favorite year of wrestling's got to be 1999, because that was the first year that I started watching wrestling, and my cousin was a fan of it, and he's like, "Oh, you ever watch wrestling?" I was like, "No," and then he offered me to watch, and then I enjoyed it. That was back when the Attitude Era was still going in WWE. But a lot of things happened that year. I know Stone Cold was popular. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock was popular also, and Chris Jericho made his appearance that year, his first appearance that year, his first debut. So that's my favorite year in wrestling. Next questions come from Joanna, Louisiana. First question is, did you ever watch the WB growing up? I did watch the WB growing up. Watched it for Smart Guy with Taj Mowry, Sister Sister. This underrated show that nobody remembers, but I do, called Unhappily Ever After, which was done by the creators of Married with Children. And then mainly I mostly watched the WB for Smallville, which I'm still a fan of Smallville. And I know a lot of people don't like Smallville, but I still do. I'm still a huge fan of it. What are your thoughts on Lindsay Lohan's never-ending court appearances? What the fuck happened to her career? That I don't know. I don't know what happened to her career. But my thoughts on Lindsay Lohan's never-ending court appearances. I think they're starting to get annoying. I missed the Lindsay Lohan, like remake of Parent Trap, Life Size, and Freaky Friday. That's the Lindsay Lohan that I miss. Will you or have you ever directed a movie with your friends? No, I did not. Never did it, because some of my friends might be camera shy, and it will never happen. Maybe, I don't know. Got any plans for the summer? Probably just hanging out with some friends, going to the movies, just hanging out. Those questions came from Joanna, Louisiana. Next questions come from Justin27, 1995. First question is, are you going to do a review on the movie A Beautiful Mind, if you have not done so already? I haven't seen the movie, but I'll get to seeing it probably in the future. What is your favorite game show? The Price is Right. Who is your favorite game show host? It's gotta be Drew Carey from Price is Right, and I like Drew Carey. He's a good game show host, good comedian and actor. Do you plan to get the game Contra for the NES if you did not get it already? Probably not going to get it, because it's hard to find for NES games, and if it's like on Amazon, it'll be really expensive. Yeah, so those questions came from Justin27, 1995. Next questions come from Sam Hain 4000. His first question is, are you a fan of the Flintstones cartoon from the 60s? Yes, I am. I grew up with the Flintstones, watching the show in reruns on Cartoon Network and also Boomerang. Still love the show. I know Seth MacFarlane's doing a reboot of the Flintstones for Fox, and there's rumors saying that it might be, the show might debut this year or probably next year, 2014. But I don't know. I don't know when that will happen. The second question is, what is your favorite John Candy movie? I have two favorite John Candy movies. One is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and the second one is Who's Harry Crumb? Those are the two favorite John Candy movies that I like. Do you like westerns? If so, what is your favorite film from that genre? Don't like westerns. Are you a fan of the movie Willow? If so, will you be getting the new Blu-ray? Haven't seen Willow, but I know it's produced by George Lucas, and I heard good things about it. So I'll probably watch it sometime, soon in the future. I don't know when though, but I will get around to seeing it. Fifth question is, are you looking forward to the new Star Wars movie? And do you want to see Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher back in it? But if they were in it, that would be like the best Star Wars since the original movie, in my opinion. And J.J. Abrams is behind the new Star Wars movie, so could be good. So those questions were from Sam Hain 4000. Next questions come from David9788. His first question is, what is your least favorite season of Boy Meets World? Don't have a least favorite season of Boy Meets World. I thought, in my opinion, every season of Boy Meets World was really good. There was no bad seasons. Second question is, who are some of your favorite YouTubers? Some of my favorite YouTubers are like Cool Duder, aka Sean C. Phillips, The Office Fan 234, aka Jason Smith, James Likes Movies 2012, which his original account was Metapunk XP, The Mastermind, Mr. Film Jack, and among others. I have a lot of favorite YouTubers. What is your favorite decade of movies? It's got to be the 80s. Every movie in the 80s, some of them were great and are classics. That was like probably the best time for films that decade. So those questions came from David9788. And the final questions come from Gold Standard 00924. His first question is, have you ever watched the classic National Lampoon movies with Chevy Chase? Yes, I did. National Lampoon's Vacation's a classic. European Vacation, I liked, but it's not my favorite of the Vacation trilogy. Christmas Vacation's also a classic, and my favorite of the Vacation movies. And Vegas Vacation, which is not a National Lampoon's movie, but it's still considered in the Vacation trilogy. That's the worst of the series. What do you think about WWE's gimmick match pay-per-views? Do you think scheduling them at a certain time of year hurts the concept of the matches. I don't think so. I think they put on this just to kill some time. Like if a match, ends fast. But I think the gimmick matches are funny. You get to see a lot of the gimmicks. Like Doink the Clown, Gobbledygooker, Goon, among others. Favorite song from a one-hit wonder artist. It's got to be "Save Tonight" by Eagle Eye Cherry. That song is a great late '90s song. I think it's underrated. Favorite Saturday morning block. When I was a kid, it was Disney's One Saturday Morning. Do you watch any TV awards ceremonies? I do. I watch the Golden Globes, the Oscars, Kids' Choice Awards, which they had this past Saturday, and it was really good. Also watched the MTV Movie Awards, and those are all the TV award shows that I watch. Those final questions came from Gold Standard 00924, and thank you all for sending in your questions. They were really good questions. Thank you all for sending them in, and thank you all for watching. And until the next video, I'll see you all later.